So RBA player Richard Jefferson knocks off LeBron James's head again with the truth. I'm all about my riches. My name should be Richard. But Richard Jefferson goes Pete from Baby Boy on LeBron James. Richard Jefferson goes Kill Bill with the swords on LeBron James with the truth. Richard Jefferson remixes WWE Kurt Angle theme song on LeBron James. Dun, 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 dun. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Playing with LeBron James. It sucks. But Richard Jefferson flames LeBron James up like a fire pit. But Richard Jefferson exposes what it's like playing with LeBron James, and he says that it sucks. But here's what Richard Jefferson had to say. This article is per Clutch Points via MSN Sports, and the headline reads, Richard Jefferson gets brutally honest on why playing with LeBron James sucks. The article goes on to say former RBA player forward Richard Jefferson offered a candid perspective on the demands of playing alongside LeBron James, stating that it, quote, sucks, end quote, not due to personal issues, but because of relentless expectations tied to winning at the highest level. It goes on to say, speaking on the latest episode of the Road Tripping Show, Jefferson, who played with James on the Cleveland Cavaliers from 2015 to 2017, reflected on the intensity that comes with being a teammate of one of the most competitive athletes in modern sports. Richard Jefferson went on to say, quote, playing with LeBron James sucks because you're trying to win a championship. He's one of the most competitive human beings in the history of American sports, Jefferson said. He continued by explaining how James's discipline and preparation elevate expectations across the roster. He says, quote, does it suck when you're showing up and he's already practicing for 4 hours and you're like, OS, when he's watching film and you mess up a play and he's like, MF, what are you doing? And it's like, yeah, those are the cons. He also added, quote, you're trying to make it to the top of the hill. This MF is trying to go to Mars. Well, Richard Jefferson, even the players in Mars wouldn't want to play with LeBron James, and he could never be welcomed in Mars because even they know how much it sucks to play with LeBron James or even be in the same vicinity as LeBron James. But Richard Jefferson exposes both sides of playing with LeBron James, and that's the dark side and the dark side. Now, typically, there is an upside to playing alongside a player that could potentially be beneficial to your game. It could help expand your game, enhance your game. But there's only a dark side to playing with LeBron James. Now, you could tell Richard Jefferson was just trying to tiptoe but speak the truth at the same time. But then he remembered how annoying and obnoxious the bronsexuals can be, but he also knows that the LeBron James and the Clutch Sports checks at Espn ain't hitting like they used to. And since he ain't on LeBron James and Clutch Sports payroll no more, he doesn't have to try to convince us that LeBron James is just so great. But we've been sold this fabricated lie by the media for nearly 23 years of LeBron James' career that he makes the players around him better. And that was the biggest lie ever told in RBA history. Now, RJ ain't lying. And when I say RJ, I ain't talking about the real Jesus, okay? But Richard Jefferson is right. Playing alongside LeBron James absolutely sucks. And to think, I myself know how bad it is to play with LeBron James, and I never played alongside LeBron James. But honestly, we all practically been teammates with LeBron James virtually through the TV screen, considering we have been watching him all these years. And we could all see that it absolutely sucks and is draining playing alongside LeBron James. See, it's one thing for a critic to analyze and give his observation, but it's another thing when one of LeBron James' teammates say it sucks because it gives more credence and credibility. Because if regular folk like me say that it sucked to play with LeBron James, then the bronsexualizers, they would say, oh, you're just a hater. But if one of LeBron James' teammates said, then, well, yeah, you're still a hater. Okay, in their eyes, you're still a hater. But I mean, the proof is in the Jell-O pudding, ladies and gentlemen. Numerous players have went on record and stated how hard it is and difficult it is to play with LeBron James. From Chris Bosh, who literally said he had to alter his game to play with LeBron James and become a spot-up shooter. Kevin Love said the same thing, and Kevin Love also had a mental breakdown playing alongside LeBron James. LeBron James almost sent Kevin Love into a mental institution. From the Mario Chalmers of the world, Dwayne Wade, Danny Green, Malik Beasley, Russell Westbrook, I mean, the list goes on. Tons of players have said how they don't like playing with LeBron James and how it sucks playing with LeBron James. And then there are the players who are silent, who refuse to speak on it because in some way they feel it could hurt their brand and they don't want to be attacked by the LeBron cyberbullies. So they just flee without saying a word, like Kyrie Irving did when he left LeBron James to join the Celtics, or Anthony Davis, who was probably jumping for joy when he got the chance to break away from LeBron James. See, players who grew up idolizing LeBron James, who have bought into that media perception that they've sold us, that LeBron James he's a warm, fuzzy guy, he's fun to be around. But when you get around him, you get to see LeBron James for who he really is, especially when y'all lose. He will betray you and have you traded, and your family will be living in a tent on Skid Road. But you have to sacrifice your game playing with LeBron James because he only knows how to play one way, and that's to be ball dominant, push the ball in transition, bring the ball up the floor, look for a screen, then drive the ball down the lane, and if the lane is clogged up, he's going to kick to an open shooter and pray to the heavens that the shooter makes it. A clip went viral of LeBron James studying his stat sheet on the bench. It showed us that he purposely passed his stats, which means he purposely only passes to keep his assist totals up. That way, when he doesn't show up in the fourth quarter, or if he tries to leave the game in another teammate's hands to close the game, then the media will be able to have something to feed off of and say, well, look, LeBron James got his numbers. They could say he's not selfish because look at his assist totals. He got a lot of assists. But the truth of the matter is LeBron James is pure selfish. Playing with LeBron James sucks because you'll get 100% of the blame. But if you win, LeBron James gets 100% of the credit. I mean, it's literally 14 players on an RPA roster, but only one player out of 14 will get all the credit. RJ says that LeBron James is practicing alone. I mean, of course he is, because that's all he has to do is practice alone. That's because the entire playbook is written for him. It's the LeBron James system. There is plenty footage of MJ and Kobe practicing with their team, but not LeBron James. He's been practicing all his life and still has no bag, and still has no bag. But the other downside to playing with LeBron James is you get death threats. The media slandering you heavily. Fans who are in no relation to the almighty Buminator will show up to your house wearing only underwear with a shotgun talking about, yeah, disrespect Braun one more again and it's up. Some of the most obnoxious creatures in the world. And it doesn't just suck playing with LeBron James. It also sucks to coach LeBron James because many coaches have gotten fired and lost their jobs, have taken mental health breaks away from LeBron James because it's hard to deal with LeBron James. You're getting all the blame and you're coaching the right way. It's just he has the media in his back pocket and they'll never blame him when he's clearly the problem. LeBron James has never helped build a player into an all-star like MJ did with Scottie Pippen, or Steph Curry did with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, or like Kobe did with Andrew Bynum. Other than Smushface Parker, no other teammate has said that it sucks playing with Kobe. And the same for MJ. The truth of the matter is, as much as you heard former teammates say Kobe Bryant and MJ were a-holes, you never heard not one of their teammates say that it sucks playing alongside them.